All right, kicking off another big hour here of the Steve Gruber Show. Glad you're here. We're lighting the fuse on it, and we're going to blow it right out of the water. That's right. Live in all 50 states and around the world. It's a dirty job, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it for you. It's a no panic zone. Here we go. Our three big things you need to know this hour. Number one, CNN could soon be chopped up like a fish and fed to the wolves. A sale is imminent. I mean, a lot of folks could be fired. Brian Stelter, goodbye again. The bowling ball, the human potato head's going to be gone. Number two, the markets seem pretty calm with all the chaos in the world right now. A solid day on Wall Street despite a bump in oil prices. Flashing green everywhere. And number three, the G7 summit. Trump got a deal, but first he discussed Russia getting tossed out of the annual gathering. A lot going on at the G7. And then, of course, Donald Trump came home early to keep an eye on what's happening with the war between Iran and Israel. Another war. You know, I'm seeing a growing sentiment online. Trump supporters saying, do not get us in a war. If you get us in a war, we will no longer support you. I'm seeing that from a variety of places, from strong Trump supporters on social media. How do you feel about that? If we get involved in a war in the Middle East with Trump as president, how do you feel about that? I'll come back to that, but let's start with this. Trump says Putin will only speak with him, speaking of war, Ukraine and Russia. He says he'll only speak to him because Russia was tossed out of the G8. Here he is.
China here, the biggest economy in the world after the United States.
Well, it's not a bad idea. I don't mind that. If somebody wants to suggest China coming in, I think we suggest. But you want to have people that you can talk to. You know, they don't talk. Putin speaks to me. He doesn't speak to anybody else. He doesn't want to talk because he was very insulted when he got thrown out of the G8. As I would be, as you would be, as anybody would be. He was very insulted. And, I mean, he was thrown out by Trudeau, who convinced one or two people, along with Obama. He was thrown out, and he's not a happy person about it, I can tell you that. He basically doesn't even speak to the people that throw him out, and I agree with him.
Yeah, there you go. And they were thrown out. It was after the invasion of Crimea, I believe, that they were exited out, somewhere back in that time frame. So Donald Trump says he's the only conduit. He's the only conduit to Putin. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but obviously he talks to Putin some. And that's part one. Here's another part, the first big G7 announcement from Trump and the European Union. Or is it the UK? A bit of confusion here. Listen in.
We have our trade agreement with the European Union, and it's a fair deal for both. Going to produce a lot of jobs, a lot of income, and we have many other ones coming. But you see the level of enthusiasm is very good. But the relationship that we have is fantastic. So I just want to congratulate you.
Well, Donald, thank you very much. This now implements on car tariffs and aerospace, our really important agreement. And so this is a very good day for both of our countries, a real sign of strength. So thank you again, Donald. A really important day for both of us.
Great people.
There you go. He's talking about a deal with the UK, but injected European Union. I think that was a mistake in what he was saying. The president back in Washington after abruptly leaving the G7 summit in Canada to address the escalating conflict between Israel and Iran. That's where we are this morning. He said as he was landing, talking to reporters, that he has not reached out to Iran for peace talks in any way, shape, or form, he said. More highly fabricated fake news. If they want to talk, they know how to reach me. They should have taken the deal that was on the table. Would have saved a lot of lives. Now, this comes after last night. He posted on Truth Social that the people of Tehran should evacuate immediately, which, by the way, they did. By the tens of thousands, they packed the highways leaving Tehran. Let's see here. Iranian Foreign Ministry spokesman Esmail Bakay, a short time ago, against the joint statement of G7 leaders about the conflict in the Middle East, wrote this, and I quote, G7 leaders' statement has revealingly disregarded Israel's blatant aggression against Iran and the unlawful attacks on our peaceful nuclear infrastructure, as well as indiscriminate targeting of residential areas and killing our citizens. Member states of G7, in particular the 3 permanent members of the United Nations Security Council, must shoulder their legal and moral responsibility toward an egregious act of aggression against a UN member. The G7 must abandon its one-sided rhetoric and address the real source of escalation, Israel's aggression. So there you have that. Yeah, there you have that. Serious question. This will be my question of the day for today. If the United States gets involved in a war in the Middle East, will you still support Donald Trump? Yes or no? Pretty simple question. If the United States gets involved in a war in the Middle East, will you still support Donald Trump? Because I'm seeing here, and I'm asking the question, it's a serious question. I'm asking the question because I'm seeing online a number of people say they will not. On another side of this story, Israel's U.S. ambassador says beeper operation, you know, the deal where they blew up their opponents using pagers, that it will seem simple compared to what is planned for Iran. We've already pulled off a number of surprises, says Yakil Leiter. When the dust settles, you're going to see some surprises on Thursday night and Friday that will make the beeper operation almost seem simple. Yeah, those beepers all end up in the hands of Hezbollah, as you know. And then as a result, well, they got pummeled. They got pummeled. They got pummeled in a big way. All right, so how do you save money these days? The elites got rich off from crypto, but hardworking Americans were, for the most part, left behind, but not anymore. Not anymore. Block Trust IRA is changing that, bringing the crypto opportunity to real Americans like you. With crypto fueling President Trump's America First economic miracle, now is your chance to join the movement. Their Animus AI trading platform runs 24/7. It crushes old school strategies and helps patriots like you build serious wealth, just like the elites. It's been named the #1 crypto tech platform by Bitcoin Magazine. Block Trust IRA offers up to $200 million in protection, and their clients are seeing returns sometimes as much as 250%. Whether you're a teacher, a truck driver, if you're retired, you're a small business owner, doesn't matter. This is your time. Get up to $2,500 in bonus crypto when you sign up now. Visit SteveGruberCrypto.com. SteveGruberCrypto.com. Yeah, making retirement great again. Around the corner, Dr. Steve Turley will be here. What does Turley have to say about all of this? I don't know. I think a lot of folks are not wildly in support of Donald Trump if there is a war in the Middle East. We'll talk about it after the break here on The Steve Gruber Show.